story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and thank you for joining us on CoreTV Primetime News. I am Ebolomo Adekunle in our major story. President Goodluck Jonathan commiserates with Muslims nationwide on the death of the chief imam, Abuja National Mosque, Ustaz Musa Muhammad. Also in this program, President Goodluck Jonathan acknowledges the role late environmental and human rights activist Aruntu Douglas played in the sustenance of the Niger Delta struggle for resource control and environmental restoration. The federal government calls on oil marketers to be patriotic in the decision by considering the interests of Nigerians first. And outside Nigeria, more than 3,400 migrants get rescued at sea, mainly off Libya, as Europe seeks ways to deal with the flood of people trying to reach its shores. President Goodluck Jonathan is commiserated with Muslims nationwide on the death of the chief imam of Abuja National Mosque, Ustaz Musa Muhammad. Muhammad, 68, died at the National Hospital Abuja on Saturday during a brief illness. In a statement by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Dr. Ruben Abadi, the president observed that the deceased is, in his lifetime, inspired his followers with exemplary lifestyle, moral conduct, and teachings. He added that the late Islamic cleric who stood out as a passionate and diligent promoter of interreligious understanding and cooperation. The president said Muhammad would always be remembered as a bridge builder and a gentleman in every circumstance. Muhammad was among residents of the Federal Capital Territory who were led by Vice President Namadi Sambo to pay Jonathan Easter homage at the Presidential Villa, Abuja on April 5. Meanwhile, the remains of the chief imam of the National Mosque Abuja has been buried. The burial took place at the Apple ceremony event in the federal capital city. Government officials, friends, and family members of the late Islamic cleric witnessed the brief ceremony. Shortly after the burial, some dignitaries told journalists that Nigeria has lost a great spiritual leader who worked for peaceful relations between Christians and Muslims. President Goodluck Jonathan has acknowledged the pivotal role late environmental and human rights activist Aruntu Douglas played in the sustenance of the Niger Delta struggle for resource control and environmental restoration. The president made the acknowledgement on Saturday during the funeral service in honor of late Douglas at the Peters Anglican Church in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital. Jonathan said Douglas introduced intellectual activism to the Niger Delta struggle for economic inclusiveness. A statement by Chief Press Secretary to Bayelsa State Governor, Mr. Daniel Uworiso Maxton, said on Sunday. The president noted Douglas was articulate, an academic icon, idealist, proactive, strategic, courageous, exclusively humanitarian, and never retracted, once committed to a cause he believed in. Eulogizing the late environmentalist, Jonathan further described him as a unique personality who was worth more than silver and gold, stressing that he was living at a time when his wise and useful counsel were most needed. The federal government has called on all marketers to be patriotic in their decisions by considering the interests of Nigerians who always bear the brunt of their actions, noting that they should not by their actions hold the country to ransom. The Minister of Finance, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, while speaking with journalists in Abuja, said contrary to claims by the marketers that they were being owed about 200 billion naira after being paid 156 billion naira last week, what is being owed them is about 131 billion naira. The marketers had claimed that the government's indebtedness to them for all subsidy was about 354 billion naira. Confirming the figure, the Executive Secretary, Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, Thomas Olawore, had said the government had paid 154 billion naira out of the 354 billion naira and left with a balance of 200 billion naira. But the minister said this figure could be correct, noting that the balance was based on the balance of the Petroleum Price and Products Regulatory Agency's template is about 131 billion naira. She likened the oil marketers to a small cartel that are into a no-risk business based on templates negotiated with PPPRA long time ago, which factored in exchange rate differential and profit margin guarantee. This situation, she said, leaves them with absolutely no risk. Senate leader Victor Ndomaegwa has accused the People's Democratic Party governors across the country for the massive electoral defeat suffered by outgoing President Goodluck Jonathan in the just concluded presidential election. Ndomaegwa stated that the road to the March 28th, April 11th election loss of the PDP and Jonathan actually started from the December 2014 primaries, when the governor deliberately shut out the candidates and imposed their own on the party. He said that aggrieved PDP members defected to the opposition parties because their former parties squeezed them out. According to him, the politicians left because they felt they did not fit within the governor's calculations. Ndomaegwa advised that the best antidote against the PDP defeat in 2019 was to stem further defections by ensuring internal party democracy, as a party can only give the nation what it has. Senate President David Mack has told the People's Democratic Party faithfuls to put the failures of the past elections behind them. He said they should be prepared to build a strong and united party, rather to play a credible opposition. Mack, according to a statement in Abuja, stated this at a parley with PDP senators and House of Representatives members-elect. He added that the not too impressive showing of the PDP in the last elections may, in the long term, be a blessing to the party and the nation. Mack, however, stated that the bickering within and among party faithfuls, all trading blame over the poor showing at the polls, should stop. The National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has constituted a post-election assessment committee to review and evaluate the party's performance in the just concluded general elections. This is contained in a statement issued by Mr. Olisa Metu, the PDP National Publicity Secretary, on Sunday in Abuja. The statement said that the committee, which would be formally inaugurated on May 5 at the party's national headquarters, would make recommendations on how to reposition the party. It listed the membership of the committee to include Senator Ike Kurimmadu, Chairman, Governor Godswill Akpabio of Akwa Ibom, Theodore Orji of Abia, and Ibrahim Dakwambo of Gombe State. Other members are Mr. Yesom Wike, Rivers Governor-elect, Malam Ibrahim Shikarau, Minister of Education, Alhaji Abdulkadir Kure, Mr. Emeka Hedioa, Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Mr. Abba Moro, Minister of Internal Affairs, and Alhaji Adamu Waziri. The statement also named Senator Ahmed Makarfi, Mr. Makajuola Ogundikbe, Mr. Pegba Otemolu, Mrs. Fumi Ayola as members, while Senator Walid Jibril would serve as secretary of the committee. The lawmakers elect for the Ekiti State House of Assembly have said they will not be rubber-stamp legislators for Governor Ayodele Fayose, whom they describe as their mentor and leader. All the 26 lawmakers are members of the People's Democratic Party and die-hard loyalists of the governor. Speaking at a press conference in Adokiti, the lawmaker-elect for Muba Constituency 1, Kola Oluwaluwole, who spoke on behalf of the colleagues, assured the people that matters brought before them by Fayose would be subjected to thorough debate in the interest of the people. He added that the next assembly will protect the principles of separation of powers in spite of belonging to the same party with the governor. On the impeachment crisis rocking the assembly, the lawmakers in waiting claimed that they had reached out to Speaker Adewale Omire on the need to tread the path of honor, but said the overtures were rebuffed. He added that Governor Adams Oshiomhole of Edo State inherited a PDP-dominated assembly from Osumbo, but it was not driven out of town because of this, and urged Omire and other APC lawmakers to forget about personal ambitions and give the needed cooperation to the governor. The Akwa Ibom State chapter of the Labour Party, in conjunction with its national headquarters, Abuja, has suspended 11 of its members and expelled 5 of its former state executive members. A statement signed by the party's state chairman, Professor Eking Anam Undu, State Secretary Elder Utip Etiebet, and endorsed by the National Deputy Chairman, Mr. Callistus Okafor Inuyu, said the affected persons were investigated and found to be guilty of anti-party activities and display of unwarranted impunity. The party accordingly advised the general public to be cautious in dealing with the persons affected, especially in matters relating to Labour Party. The party maintained that it had begun the process to challenge the outcome of the fraudulent and miscarriage so-called elections of April 11th, 2015 at the tribunal, the party added. According to the party, the decision to suspend and expel some of its erring members is to bring sanity to the party. Okafor said those expelled from the party were members of the former executive that had been dissolved. The Ogun State government has described the word view of the state governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Gboyega Isiaka, as too narrow over the latter's criticism of the light rail project the state had signed with the Chinese civil engineering construction company last week. The Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Yusuf Olaniyonu, said this in a statement in Abeokuta. Isiaka had last Thursday condemned the rail project, describing it as a misplaced priority shortly after submitting his petition to the National and State Houses of Assembly Election Petitions Tribunal in Abeokuta, challenging the victory of the state governor, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, who won the April 11th governorship election. He had argued that the project should not be the priority of the state for now, as there were schools and health facilities that had decayed and needed urgent attention. He noted that there were many things the governor did not tell the people of the state about the project. President-elect Muhammadu Buhari has sent former Vice President Atiku Abubakar to South Africa to commence lobbying for the candidacy of Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture, Akinwumi Adesina, as President of the African Development Bank. A statement issued by the Atiku Media Office in Abuja confirmed the shuttle diplomacy follows a mandate from the president-elect to the former vice president to leverage on his contacts to lobby for the emergence of Adesina. President-elect Buhari, who backs the candidacy of Adesina, had last month conveyed his support to the president of Ghana, John Mahama, when the two leaders met in Abuja. Atiku traveled with Adesina to South Africa over the weekend, where the two met with President Zuma at the presidential residence in Durban. Atiku Media Office said both sides discussed extensively the need for South Africa and the Southern African region to support Nigeria's candidate. We'll go on a break now and return with more stories. Don't go away.
Introducing Smart Connect, where get plenty awoof to allow you talk, text, and browse nyafu for 10 in the morning.
Igwe. Say you know say with just 200 naira recharge card, Airtel they summer me with 200% bonus to yarn more with any network.
Hey, now you not call me your fiance.
Relax. In fact, I don't buy your own Airtel SIM now every day.
As correct person, anytime I recharge 200 naira and above, Smart Connect they serve me with free internet to browse.
If you want to make your family follow you enjoy, buy your 4-in-1 family pack for the price of one. Oh, baby.
Akururu. This girl too, na family and friends.
No carry last though. Buy your Airtel SIM today.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Thank you for being there. If you're just joining us, it's the CoreTV Primetime News, and here are our major stories. President Goodluck Jonathan commiserates with Muslims nationwide on the death of the chief imam of Abuja National Mosque, Ustaz Musa Muhammad. President Goodluck Jonathan acknowledges the role late environmental and human rights activist Oronto Douglas played in the sustenance of the Niger Delta struggle. Federal government calls on all marketers to be patriotic in their decisions by considering the interests of Nigerians first. And for more on CoreTV News and other information, you can visit our social media platforms. On Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle @CoreTV News NG. For videos on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV with the space then news. The incoming government of Nigeria's President-elect Muhammadu Buhari has been advised to make Nigeria's educational system girl-friendly. The Buhari administration has also been urged to put more effort in the publicity of girl-child education, especially in the area of information and communications technology. Nigeria's first female commercial pilot, Chinyere Kalu, who was the guest speaker at a one-day seminar organized for teenage girls by the Youth for Technology Foundation in Owerri, the Imo State capital, said a recent European Union statistics shows that out of over 7 million people working in the ICT sector around the world, only 30 are women. She stressed that the research also concluded that the ICT sector is rapidly growing by the day, thereby creating over 100,000 new jobs every year. She further noted that major way to reverse this trend is to encourage the participation of young girls to take up ICT-related careers, revealing that Nigerian women have one of the lowest participation. Kalu, however, called on the government to encourage the girl child through scholarships, free education and good incentives, which would go a long way to motivate the girl child so as to get more involved in science and technology. The First Baptist Church Conventional Warriors expressed gratitude to God for the success of this year's convention as well as the hitch-free election in the state, calling on Governor Roches Okorocha to carry everybody along. According to the ministry, the outcome of the convention and the elections was a prayer answered. Our correspondent Ajibade Awofeso in this report projects their reactions towards the peaceful atmosphere the state is enjoying.
The president, Imo Baptist Conference, while talking to CoreTV News, said the governor's gesture of joining them at the convention ground was indeed a plus to him at the polls. He also said the peace witnessed during the entire election process within and outside the state is a proof of prayer answered.
Already, the peace we are enjoying today, following the elections we had prayed for before that election came. And we know that when peace takes its course, every other facet of the society continues to enjoy the progress that we are talking about.
The resident pastor gave his response while talking to CoreTV News as to what exactly has been their motivation to have always embarked on things considered national value.
This is our foundation. We are Bible-believing people. all over the world, the Baptist people are known as the people of the book. So the Bible is our source of authority, our source of practice. It's our belief. We believe the Bible strongly. We don't have catechism or written document by other people. The Bible is our source of faith and practice. And that is what has led us thus far.
He as well congratulated Governor-elect and called on him to carry everyone along, urging him to consult good hands in road construction for durability. Ajibade Awofeso, CoreTV News, Owerri.
The Borno government has commended the Nigerian military for its efforts in rescuing about 500 children and women abducted by suspected Boko Haram insurgents in Sambisa Forest. The military at last week rescued the women in batches following an operation at the forest. Governor Kashim Shettima gave the commendation in a statement issued by Special Advisor on Communication Malam Isa Gusau in Maiduguri. Shettima describes the military operation as gratifying. He urged the military to sustain the tempo by freeing other abducted persons at the forest. Shettima expressed hope that the military will also rescue the abducted Chibok girls within a short while. The death toll in the clashes between some villagers and soldiers in 3 villages of Kadako, Kurmi, and Wadata in Wase local government area of Plateau State has risen to 39 as 9 more bodies have been uncovered. Soldiers said to be on a reprisal in over 40 trucks were said to have stormed the villages following reports of an alleged killing of 4 soldiers at Angwan Nami, Karin Lamido local government area of Taraba State. The traditional ruler of Kadako, Ponzi Kadako, Lot Inde, said that the death toll could still rise as soldiers with armored tanks had pursued some villages right inside the bush where many of them were shot and killed. The traditional ruler said the entire village had been deserted, adding that he had fled since, according to him, he was target of the attack. He explained that some women in his area told him that when the soldiers arrived at his house, they told them they were told to kill the traditional ruler first. Spokesman for the Special Task Force, Ike Dichi Iweha, disputed the claim in some reports that more than 400 people had been killed. He said it would be erroneous to believe that soldiers would turn around and start killing civilians. He said in the process, there was a clash between some locals and some of the militia men, stressing that mop-up operation was still ongoing. Iweha added that the number of casualties could not be determined until the operation is over. The police detectives attached to Ota Division, led by the Divisional Police Officer, CSP Muhyiddin Adisa, have arrested some deadly cultists and armed robbers who terrorize innocent people around Ota area in Ado Odo Ota local government area of Ogun State. The operation was carried out following a tip-off leading to the arrest of 3 major ringleaders belonging to Aye Black Axe Confraternity. Those affected include Bamidele Adejare, 18, Sadiq Badamosi, 22, and Olamilekon Amola, 22. They were said to have been arrested at Ijako area in Ota on Saturday at about 10 in an uncompleted building with dangerous weapons such as guns, cutlasses, charms, and were said to be planning to unleash terror on the people of the area. The suspected cultists have confessed to many crimes, including participating in notable court clashes that led to the death of many people within Ota axis. In the same vein, police detectives on Sunday, while on normal routine patrol along Alasia area in Jukwater, intercepted 2 men and a lady carrying a bag. When the police conducted a search on them, a locally made double-barrel cut-to-size gun and some live cartridges were recovered from them in the bag. They have since confessed to committing many crimes in the area and in Ogun State at large. A Kano State Pilgrims Welfare Board said it has engaged the services of 400 Islamic scholars to conduct sensitization program on Hajj for the 2015 intending pilgrims. Public Relations Officer of the board, Alhaji Badamosi Nuhu, disclosed these. He said the Islamic scholars were expected to conduct the program at the 16 designated centers established across the state. Nuhu said the program, which commenced across the centers last week was aimed at enlightening prospective pilgrims on the Hajj rites. He therefore called on all those who secured the Hajj seats to ensure that they attend the program regularly in view of its importance. It is recorded that the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria allocated 5,537 Hajj seats to Kano State for the 2015 Hajj. We'll go on another break now and we'll return with sports, business and other stories outside Nigeria.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Usain Bolt storming, no, he takes Puyol with a flying lead.
Go, taking them out in the lead.
And now to sports. Manny Pacquiao has blamed a shoulder injury for his defeat by Floyd Mayweather in Las Vegas, claiming it stopped him from using his right hand. American Mayweather, 38, outclassed his Philippine rival at the MGM Grand and was awarded a wide unanimous decision. Pacquiao, 36, said he thought he did enough to win the fight, despite most observers agreeing with the verdict. Mayweather started the brighter of the two and rocked Pacquiao with a number of right-hand counter-punches in the early exchanges. Pacquiao said he wanted to have an injection in the shoulder before the fight, but the Nevada Athletic Commission refused. Pacquiao's promoter, Bob Arum, claimed he informed the commission of the injury 5 days ago and defended the decision not to cancel the fight, the most lucrative in boxing history. Commission Chairman Francisco Aguilar said he first knew about the injury 2 hours before the fight, when Pacquiao's camp requested a doctor's seat in his corner, a request that was denied. Mayweather, meanwhile, said he was carrying injuries to both arms and hands. Chelsea has won the Premier League title after beating Crystal Palace at the Stamford Bridge. Jose Mourinho's side needed 3 points to complete the triumph as they moved out of sight of their rivals to reclaim the crown from Manchester City. Victory was secured following Eden Hazard's goal on the stroke of a half-time as the Belgian headed past Julian Speroni after the Palace goalkeeper saved the PFA Player of the Year's penalty. That gave Mourinho his 3rd title as Chelsea manager and the first of a second spell in charge. It is the club's 5th top-flight title and comes 5 years after their last and 60 years since their first. The celebrations that swept around Stamford Bridge at the final whistle were fully deserved for Chelsea side, who have set the pace since the start of the season, despite Mourinho's side losing leading scorer Diego Costa in the crucial losing phase of the campaign. British number 1 Heather Watson failed to convert 6 match points as she lost to Colombia's world number 110th Marina Desmarino at the Madrid Open. Watson, ranked 40th, had 3 match points on serve at 6-5 in the decider and another 3 in the tiebreak, but went down 0-6, 6-3, 7-6. Desmarino goes on to face 3rd seed Maria Sharapova in the 2nd round. Sharapova and Serena Williams were among Sunday's winners, but 2nd seed Simona Halep and Eugenie Bouchard lost. Meanwhile, defending champion Sharapova showed no signs of her recent struggles with form and fitness as she beat Switzerland's Timea Basinski 6-2, 6-3. In other games, Williams thrashed fellow American Madison Brengel 6-0, 6-1, and 4th seed Petra Vitova beat Olga Govotova 3-6, 6-1, 6-4. But Romania's world number 2, Halep, went down 7-6, a tie break of 8-6, and then 6-3 to Elise Cornet of France. Wimbledon finalist Eugenie Bouchard suffered a sixth consecutive defeat as an alarming slump continued. The Canadian 21 led the Czech Republic's Barbora Strykova 6-0, 3-1, but crumbled to a 0-6, 6-3, 6-3 defeat. Tour of Turkey and in cycling Britain's Mark Cavendish has won the sprinter's jersey at the Tour of Turkey after finishing second in the 121 kilometers final stage in Istanbul. The Mangzam 29 won 3 of the race's 8 stages and accumulated 60 points to take home the green jersey for second year. Meanwhile, Chris Froome was third overall in the Tour de Romandie. The Team Sky rider was aiming for a third title in a row, but was 35 seconds behind general classification winner Katusha's Ilnur Zakarin after Sunday's final stage, a 17 kilometers time trial. The short stage was comfortably won by time trial specialist, 3-time world champion at SIG's Quickstep's Tony Martin. Great Britain's 4x100 meters team failed to qualify for the Olympics via the IAAF World Relays, and that came 9th of final and an early shot at Rio qualification. Britain were edged out by just 0.06 seconds before USA took gold, followed by Jamaica and Japan. Teams who qualify for and complete finals at the event in Nassau will be guaranteed a place in Rio next summer. The remaining 8 teams will be selected according to the world rankings as of July 2016. Among the runners missing from the GB squad in the Bahamas are Commonwealth 100-meter silver medalist Adam Jamili, fellow European 4x100 meters champion James De Solo, as well as sub-10-second runner Chijindu Uja and Harry Aikens Arieti. The British quartet of Kilty, James Ellington, Danny Talbot and Andy Robertson went on to win their B final, but the damage was already done. Elsewhere, Great Britain's men and women's 4x400 teams made their finals, and the women 4x100 heats and final take place on Sunday. And now to other stories outside Nigeria. More than 3,400 migrants were rescued at sea, mainly off Libya, as Europe seeks ways to deal with the flood of people trying to reach its shores following a series of deadly shipwrecks. A total of 3,427 people were picked up during the operation coordinated by the Italian Coast Guard. While they said it was a very busy day, it was not a record for the Coast Guard, which coordinated the rescue of 3,791 migrants on April 12 and another 2,850 the following day. French patrol boats Commandant Bayreuth, which was sent to boost EU patrols to deal with the influx of migrant boats in the Mediterranean, picked up 217 people off the coast of Libya. The migrants, all men, had been on board 3 boats, the authorities said, adding that 2 suspected people smugglers were also caught and will be handed over to Italian police. The UN Assistance Mission for Iraq on Sunday in Baghdad said that a total of 812 Iraqis were killed and 1,726 others injured in terrorist attacks and violence in April in Iraq. A statement by the UN mission said 535 civilians, including 30 policemen and 277 Iraqi security forces personnel, were killed, while 1,456 other civilians, including 58 policemen and 270 security members, were wounded. The UN agency said the list excluded the casualties in Anbar province, where fierce clashes are continuing between the Iraqi forces and the Islamic State militant group, which was seized assist most of the province. The UN agency said that there were unknown people who died from secondary effects of violence after fleeing their homes due to exposure to elements, lack of water, food, medicine, and health care. The statement noted that the Iraqi capital of Baghdad was the most affected province, with 1,165 civilian casualties, out of which were 319 killed and 846 injured. That's it on the Primetime News tonight. Before we go, a recap of our major stories. President Goodluck Jonathan has commiserated with Muslims nationwide on the death of the chief imam of Abuja National Mosque, Utaz Musa Muhammad. President Goodluck Jonathan acknowledged the role late environmental and human rights activist Ronto Douglas played in the sustenance of the Niger Delta struggle. The federal government has called on all marketers to be patriotic in their decisions by considering the interests of Nigerians first. And that's it on the news for tonight. Many thanks for watching. I am Ebunlomo Adekunle.